Hey guys, welcome to another Anime Kingdom discussion and review. This one will be on Sword Art Online 2, Episode 7. So the episode starts off with Sugu and Kirito eating at their home, and she plays the Oni-chan, and she shows him an article she found, which is on BOB, and it has Kirito's, name listed on it, Kirito, and he's like, oh, what? That's not me. A lot of people could have that name. Kirito is pretty much just part of his first and last name, and he tries to make up a name to make it sound real, to which of course it doesn't work. Because after that, Kirito then starts to think about Death Gun again, to which Sugu notices. She says, "Oh, you have that scary expression again," and he's like, "What? I don't know what you're talking about." And she starts talking about how she already know he switched from ALO to GGO because he's no longer on her friends list, and he was just being really suspicious the way he would come home, or when she tried to go into his room one time. So she went to talk to Asuna, and so that's how she found out. After that, Kirito then remembers a video chat, and he's with Asuna, and it's so cute, and he's like, he at first he doesn't want to finish the sentence, and she's like, just finish it, and he's like, he wanted to hear her voice. So cute. Oh man, I love Kirito and Asuna. That's why I kind of don't like. I still love GGO so far, but I wish there would be more of her in it. Um, and pretty much, she notices, he's obviously stressed out, and she's like, "Is there anything wrong? Is it anything with the, GGO and stuff?" And to which he says, "No, don't worry. There's nothing wrong." And Kirito doesn't want to. He doesn't want to, get her into the whole thing because Death Gun, and pretty much because of SAO Sword Art and everything. After that, Sugu's behind him, and for all you fans of Kirito and Lifa, then here's a moment for you guys. And pretty much she's scared. She doesn't want him to go away. She's worried, and so is Asuna, of course. That's what she noticed, and but of course he says he promises he won't go away, and after he has a tournament, which is tonight, he'll be back. He'll come back. That's pretty much it's done. After that, the mood is good again, and Sugu says she heard from Asuna that his new job pays a ton. To which Kirito's like, yeah, I'll treat you to whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, there's this non-carbon practice sword I've been wanting. And I'm like, geez, you're just gonna making him buy you just anything, all this stuff. Asuna and Sugu and probably everyone's like, oh come on, Kirito, and Kirito cannot say no. After that, we're with Sinon and Shinkawa, and at that the swing set place that they showed before, and in the opening, and Sinon's getting all mad over Kirito. To which Shinkawa tries to say, oh, I'll help you. We can, attack him with a bunch of machine guns, a bunch of guys. But of course, she wants a fair fight with Kirito, so she even like aims her hand like a gun thing, yeah, gun sign at the clock, and says next time she'll pay him back 2 times over. To which Shinkawa's like, he's surprised, and he's like, oh, can you do that? Because normally just doing this freaks her out. To which she says, well, I guess it's probably because she's mad, and I guess yeah, she obviously didn't even notice it happened. And then he literally pretty much confesses to her, holds her, and she pretty much pushes him away, pretty much a reject. But she says, will you wait and stuff, because she wants to get stronger first. She has this stuff to do first, and then if he'll wait. To which he says yes, and I'm just like, dang, pretty much rejected. But you can wait if you want. After that, Kirito is on his way on his motorcycle to the hospital, and he's remembering, all the bad stuff with the attack on Laughing Coffin, and his conversation with Death Gun, and even at the hospital, he's thinking all about that. And that's when the nurse notices, his expression again. He's got that scary expression again, and she says, he can tell her whatever. She'll be his counselor, and to which he says okay, and he starts to tell her what is wrong, and he asks if since before she was in the rehab for him, she was in surgery. That was where she worked, and he asked if she can remember all, remember the people that died in the surgery. And to which she answers she can remember them. He then asks, if she ever wanted to forget. To which she doesn't really answer the question that, that way. And she says, if you're meant to forget, you will, without even thinking that you want to forget. Because the more times you think you want to forget, the stronger the memories become, which means deep in your subconscious you think you really shouldn't forget. And that's kind of true. If if you want to forget something and it's meant to be, you'll just forget it and you won't even realize it. But obviously, if you're going to keep trying to forget something, you're going to continue. It's still in your mind. You're still remembering it. Kirito says that, he's a monster because he can't remember two of the names or faces of the people he killed. And he's, talking all this kind of stuff about, he just completely forgot. And then we get a Kirito X nurse moment. And she comforts him, puts him, lets him lie on her shoulder and says, he has the right to save himself for, the lives he's saved. And he gets even more mad, and he's like, he doesn't deserve it. He lost that right. He ain't all pissed off and stuff. And then she holds him close and says, if he really forgot, then he wouldn't be suffering so much. And it is true. I mean, he might not remember the names, but obviously he remembers them. And if he didn't remember them, he wouldn't be suffering because, it wouldn't matter. He wouldn't remember it. And then she says, there will be a time he will remember, and when that time comes to remember everything, he will. And when that happens, he'll have to remember that, all the people he protected and saved. And of course he thinks of Asuna because, doing what he did saved a lot of people. Even though he had to kill them, he has to protect the people. Laughing Coffin was killing all kinds of people. That's not how it should be. So he pretty much saved people's lives. And of course, he saved Asuna as well with that, forget what his name is, but yeah. After that, Kirito enters the game. Oh, well, the moment ends with the nurse and Kirito putting forehead to forehead. Sorry, I had to put that part in. You gotta remember that part. It was cute. But, Asuna is the best. After that, Kirito enters the game, and after we're with Sinon again, and she's pretty much on her bed remembering everything that Shinkawa, pretty much confessing, and she blushes a little, but, gets her head in the game. She can't think about that right now. It's time for B.O.B., and she goes in the game. After that, we are in ALO with all the girls, with Klein fighting. They're fighting this lizard thing, and of course, Klein trying to impress everyone. And all of a sudden, he's holding the thing, and he's like, the lizard thing, turns around, looks at him, poisoned. His health's just dropping. He's like, Asuna, help, because she's the healer. And she just, she's not thinking. She's spacing out. And his health is literally dropping to the red zone until she finally notices and oh, and then heals him. And then they beat the monster. And of course, everyone realizes why she's, acting like that. And, after that, they talk about Kirito, and then they go to watch the tournament together. They're going to watch it in ELO. You saw it in the opening, all of them watching in the game. So, after that, they're in GGO, and Shinkawa confesses for real this time. He, literally says he likes her. And she pushes him away, saying, not now, she has to concentrate. And that's a huge rejection. But, of course, she can't be thinking those other kind of stuff right now. It's going to mess her up, which is kind of true. But still, that's a rejection, bro. But wait as much as you want. After that, Sinon and Kirito walk toward each other, both saying, they won't lose. And that was the end of the episode. I give this episode a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of, Kirito moments with all the girls, and him pretty much, trying to figure himself out, and, he's in a weak point right now. He's scared. And next episode, he's determined, he's ready now. Now we'll be able to see, it's going to be the tournament part finally, and we'll get to see Kirito do more action, fighting. I can't wait for that. I'm pretty sure you can't wait for that either. We get to see, him beating everyone, lightsaber action and stuff, So as always, there's discussion as well as a review. So if you want, comment below what you thought, or if you have a question for me, comment that below as well. And until next time, guys, hope you enjoyed this review and discussion. See you guys.